the creation part is so important for us, and it's the key part because we want to combine like the interests of the kids with the tools, and we are just only seeing so many wonderful tools. Like the world is so big, and there's so many tools, so many things that can be done. And I wanted to say that regarding to the point that you said before, like the frustration of the skills that I have now and the things that I want to produce, then I think that's one of the great things that the tools and all of the AI and all of the technology can now help you. Like you can really produce a very good looking card game with wonderful, beautiful pieces of art that came from your beautiful small child brain. and feel proud of it. And I don't want to like skip the part in which you still have to go through the process of like the ideation, imagination, and designing it and asking people and thinking about, okay, I don't like this. And it's a co-creation with AI tool or other tools, but you can actually do it. You can make it, the tool can help you make it better, faster. And of course, the goal is not to like make something faster, better, but if that's the thing that you struggle with, then the tool can really help you. And it won't like create a big wall for which you just stop doing it at all. You just, it helps you to slowly but gradually build the skill, and you being able to overcome the feeling like, okay, I suck, but not that much. Then what's going to like let you create the things? And of course there can be other people who will say like, but it's not created by me, it's the tool that has created it. But then I think that, and that goes back to the question is what defines created by me. It's like if I'm using a sewing machine to create a dress, is the dress not made by me? It's like, is the dress made by the machine? I don't think so,
I think we just need to adapt to these technologies. It's just a tool. It's going to be interesting, I think, is how we develop the relationship with it. Because definitely at first, you can use it as a shortcut to things. Sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. So I think it goes back to when you're creating something, or like big part of it is you are creating it for yourself. Even when you are trying to like solve a problem for others or entertain others, like I think it goes back to making something you are proud of. So like all of us will create at some point, I think, with AI or anything else, something, and it will be like, this is cool, but I don't actually feel like it's not mine. Like whether it's because it's like generated with AI in 3 minutes. And it's not about the time, I think. It's much more about, like, is this what I wanted, actually? Because I think what AI is good at is, like, surprising you with maybe how good it is in such little time. And so you take it as, like, wow, this is amazing. But when we get used to this, and I remember, like, Kevin Kelly was saying that he's, like, making a piece of art every day with Midjourney. I heard that like a year ago. I don't know if he's still doing that, but he was saying that actually it's not like, he prompts something in a minute and then it's done, but he actually spends sometimes an hour like tinkering with it. So it's not about speed. It's more like it's a different tool. It can create it fast, but doesn't mean that it fulfills your vision. And often it doesn't. Maybe like extends it because you can really like draft 30 alternatives really fast. So I think actually for like the perfectionist mindset and sometimes lots of people struggle with that. It's like trying to make the thing perfect because it's actually worse because you can always go back and always change a word in the prompt or like maybe keep prompting. Maybe it's going to be better. So I think it just goes back to like, are you proud of it? Do you like feel it's like deserved? Because part of the project is the challenge I think you overcame to do it. So I think we'll keep developing the relationship with AI. And yeah, people will be like, but it's AI generated. It's not. It's just, somebody used that as a tool. And I can already feel that. Like I'm right now, I'm myself trying to find what's the place for AI, like in my writing process. And I don't like it at the beginning, I'm finding. I don't like even for the ideas, not that much. Not for the first draft, definitely. I'm finding not even like for the second draft or like the shaping, because I like writing for the process of thinking actually and realizing what I think. And when I hand it over to AI, it like fills it with generic stuff. It's like that's what I think of like the core of at least like something like ChatGPT is basically, unless I tell it otherwise, to fill it with the approximation of what would like people the internet say, which is the opposite of what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to figure out what I think and express it in a way that's, yes, relatable, true, but true to me and like interesting. So different, let's say. So it's very interesting, like figuring out what the tool, which phase of like the observation, reflection, and then in the creative process of like the first draft or like the final feedback, which to me now, at least now, feels the most useful. It's like I actually like finished it to some extent. This is what I want to say. Like now look at it as the person who would read it, like as who am I writing for? Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a teacher, and like tell me what you think. It's the most useful at this point to me. How do you think about this?
I think that I'm the same with you, but I don't think I have such a curated process. I do feel that most of the times when I do not give it a good prompt, like the input is weak, then it generates like weak results, that it really matters on what you say at the beginning. And since like I have tons of ideas and I don't use it usually for ideas, or I use it as a prompt for my ideas. So I read a bunch of stuff and then my brain starts thinking, and usually it comes with better ideas than what, as you said, like comes with very quite mediocre common ideas. But it's a good like chatting buddy, when you need somebody to just give you some seeds, or not even a seed, but just water your seed, then it really works very well. But I do think that it's actually great to, because I think about it, I'm never disappointed with it because I think about it as a tool. So as if I'm not going to be disappointed that Photoshop didn't do the work the way I want it, because it's not the Photoshop itself, but it's me. I don't get disappointed with AI. So for example, when I generate a picture, then it gives me something. And if I don't like the picture the way it is, and usually it's in the details. I think that's the important part that we did not mention, is that most of the things, the creative stuff, is in the small details. The words that you choose. If it was writing, it would be the way you structure your sentences. Where do you put the dashes? Like, what do you emphasize? Like, that's the small things, which I think the AI tools nowadays are not very good at doing. So I take, for example, a picture and then I see like, okay, the eyes are not blue. I just need the eyes to be blue. And I think that's where the part of yourself comes in. Like you really can use it just as a tool, like something that lets you enhance the parts, or maybe delegate the parts that you don't like, or just the starting point, and then you just take it and you tweak it. You use Photoshop to change the color of the eyes and move the hair a little bit up, or when you're 3D printing, you use it, the structure, and then I was thinking actually about it in the workshop, because it came to my mind that it would be, well, maybe let's first explain what would be the workshop about. I was thinking about like using AI because there was this huge trend of generating AI figurines as a toys in a plastic wrapped toys. And then I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that's so cute, but so boring. and exactly, because for me, the interesting part is how to take something digital and make it like physical. But also, I just saw a bunch of people copy pasting the prompt into ChatGPT and getting what the ChatGPT has like spit out, like the output. And of course, you did it maybe 1,000 of times, but for me, it's like, where is that yourself? Where is the part of yourself being in the creation? It's like it disappeared for me. It's like you just took all of that and you just pasted it, and you just changed your name and the work title and added your picture. And that didn't seem to me like the creative part. Like, that's not creative. That's like being a copy machine. So I was like thinking, okay, I really like this idea. How do I make it my own? How do I make it Linette? Like, how do I make it? So I was just searching, and then I saw in Adafruit, what they did is that they took the picture of the toy and used an AI tool to generate a 3D model of the toy, actually. And then they 3D printed it using a 3D printer, which has like the multicolor 3D printer. So it could like print it, the full toy, full color. And then I looked at the result, and then I did exactly the thing that I would like to do with the children. It's like, what do I like about it? And what do I hate about it? And I hated the way it looked, because it just wasn't perfect. And it was, the combination of when you feel like you're using a perfect tool, but the perfect tool spits out something imperfect, so it doesn't look satisfying because you feel like it's supposed to look perfect. So I was thinking, okay, I don't like this part. I also don't like the tool that you have used, because the tool seems to be like too complicated. Can I switch and look for another tool that is going to be much easier, and it's going to give me maybe not the perfect structure of the simple toy, but will give me the toy in the way, so I can then paint on it and make it a thing that is like a combination of the digital and the physical, and not only like the machines, but also your own expression. Because then you take the toy, which is printed in one color, and then you use your own colors that you have at home to paint whatever you want on top of the mannequin. And it expresses like your creativity, the way you want it to look like. It's not just the machine, it's not just the computer, it's not just the algorithm, it's not just the 3D machine, it's also me. And then I was like thinking, this is so cool, I want to do this with children. It would be so lovely to do that with children. And then the first thing that I came into my mind, because I was thinking that's a wonderful thing, because you can actually start from a simple photo and you can make something that looks brilliant even if you are a child, which would be very hard if I was about to teach children how to create animated figurines in Illustrator, then design it in Tinkercad, or Tinkercad or any other 3D tool like Blender, even Blender, then to learn how to 3D print it, and then actually like paint on it. That would take ages. It would take a lot of time. Now it can be done in a 2 hours long workshop. But then as I was thinking about it, I already have like experience with children. I know what will happen. They will tell me, but this doesn't look the way I want it. How do I change that? Which is the thing that you want to, but that's exactly what will happen. Like, how do I change that? And then you will try it for a fifth time, you will change the prompt, and it will be like, oh, that's still not the thing that I want. And at that moment, I would have to say, then you would need to learn how to do 3D modeling. You would need to learn, and this is the tool that you can do. So I don't think it's an issue. It might be perceived as an issue that you are creating it with AI, I think that it's, again, you get to the frustration, like it has limitations, it's not perfect, and you will get to the frustration of that thing not being perfect, and you will get back to creating it yourself with already something that it's based.
It's like if you had a brush that was too big for the details you want. Yeah, which is like the simple example, but it's similar. Yeah, I was thinking, it's like it goes back to what you want, and this is like a gate to realizing what's even possible, and then you pick your spot where it's like, and this is how I'm gonna make it mine. And like with the card game, as you were saying, it's like, or I view the AI and these tools as like enablers, because like previously maybe it would be a block for you that you cannot like draw the cards or something. You cannot make the art, so you're not gonna make the card game at all. But now you can make it very easily, and it's not gonna be perfect. It's not even gonna be like yours in the sense that you draw it, but maybe you don't care about the art that much. You just want it to be good, to look good, but you care about the systems, like how elegantly you design the mechanics. So like it's smart, so you want to show it people not for how it looks, but how it works. And somebody will approach it completely differently and will not care that much about like how it plays, how the game plays, but it's gonna be more like collectible game or like cards. And the mechanics of the game might be very light, but they will hand draw the pictures, or maybe use the AI, but will like spend hours prompting it, and then maybe even like open it in some software and like finish it. So I think that's where everybody needs to figure out which parts they care about or not, and so where they put their energy towards, and then again, then it's just a tool, and it can help you overcome what you don't care about, or improve what you do care about.
Exactly. Last point.
Yeah, is there a fifth one?
Presentation.
Presentation. Yeah, you want to show what you made to others.
Simply put.
Yeah, and so there are probably two parts. One is just to show it, to share it, which I think is a satisfying part of creating something. And the second part is getting something back, so like a feedback from people who maybe know you because they've already worked with you or alongside you, so they've seen your other work, and maybe they can give you more nuanced feedback than somebody like a complete stranger. So it's more like colleagues, where you share something and you can have discussions about it, and you know, they can tell you specifically tailored, like give you feedback specifically tailored to you. So I think that can be very valuable. And also the skill of giving feedback, I think is something that's worth working on, because like it's really a gift for others when you can give great feedback. And really like enhances and improves your process if you get feedback from others that's relevant. Not all feedback is relevant. So yeah, those two parts to me stand out.
I think for me the presentation part is about, as you said, like being able to show it to other people. I think like the proud moment is very important. And then the second part that I think is very important is like making sense of what you actually want to say in the presentation. So the way how you want to present it. And because I think it's another way how to like reflect on the work that you have already done. Because sometimes, and especially in creative projects, it makes so much sense to say how it came to life. And it's a good way to, like the presentation part is a good way how to reflect on what were actually the steps, so you don't forget it, because I do struggle with that. I always forget like where I started and how much work actually went into it. and not only work, but also what were the concepts that I was thinking about, like what actually brought me there, and what were the twists and turns that have brought me to the end of the project. So I think it's also a very good idea it's a very good way how to think, like get your thoughts straight so other people understand your process, but also like reflect on the work that you have done.
Yeah, that's a great point. Two things come to me. One is the self-reflection, and like it goes back to both the self-reflection and reflecting with others in this part, because you can like vividly, because it's recent for you, so you can actually like come back mentally to it, describe it, which helps you to self-reflect on the process, so you can like, tell the story to others, and for others to see that it's not linear and it's not easy necessarily, usually. So that's one part. And second part that came up for me was, I thought a lot about this, how much I like, when I have a favorite creator, I love looking at their first projects. And I love, usually you probably won't find the first thing, but especially on YouTube, it's quite common. I like to go to the like filter by oldest, and I just love how crappy it is. And I really like and respect and think it's important and want to hold myself to the same standard, to like keep your old crappy work out there, even if you're not like proud of it like for the outcome, but you are and you should be proud like relatively to where you were, because you always do the best you can. And I think it's important to keep it up for others, because it's sad for me when I see just the
polished version.
Yeah, just the and of course you don't want to necessarily share all the like you make 10 things and one is the one you want to show. That's fine, but that's what you at that point decided is good enough. So just keep it there and don't take it, down a year later or something, when somebody who starts following you can then only see the last 3 things you made, because that's what's up to your current standard. I think it's very useful for everybody to see the old things, and then I love when I follow somebody and they talk about how difficult it is for them to maybe watch some old videos because for whatever reason they talk too fast or the lighting is poor. It's so funny, and I think it's important to just have the sense of, I really like the idea of that anything you create is basically like a journal entry, like a snapshot of like what you feel and the best you can do at that point, and that's how you should perceive it and others should perceive it. I think that's really helpful, because otherwise if you move the standard as you go, you will not even finish anything, because like the standard moves so fast that you cannot really. So yeah, I think that's important. And when sharing that as it is like very recent, like also helps.
100%. I think I have one more last question, which is not a question but a statement, which you have shared with me, and I am still thinking about it, and that's creativity as a antidote to anxiety. I really liked, because you said you were watching a podcast, and I really liked the idea that creativity and anxiety cannot be sitting in the same room within one person. And so the question is, what's your thoughts on that? And then the second thing is, how could we use it? If you use it, if you do, how do you use it? And how could we maybe use it to design, I would say, more resilient, or to build experiences that are building more resilient children.
Yeah, the idea is that you cannot feel anxious and be creative at the same time, which I find true. I don't know if you feel the same, but when I'm creating something, I don't, it's like very close to the idea of flow, of like getting into this state where you just focus on whatever you're trying to do. So you're not, by definition, you cannot, because anxiety for me is rooted in the future. So it's like worrying about what's going to happen, what might happen. And creativity is very much about present, like being present with whatever you're trying to do. So yeah, to me that feels like an important skill, principle, tool to learn, to just getting to know what creativity is like as a state of being. I really like the idea in Rick Rubin's book that like, I think it's the subtitle. Yeah, a way of being. That it's a state more than anything else in which you're not anxious, you're present. Yes, that's the core of the idea.
I love it. I do think that the reason why it resonates with me so much is that I do believe that if we fast forward in the positive direction when we are using AI, and maybe there will be less and less like functional work to do, then we are going to be left with meaning. And I think that meaning is a very hard topic, even for us now, even if we don't have as much time to think about it, and work actually does fill the bucket of meaning. And I think it could potentially make us very anxious and sad, depressed, when we feel like we have a lifetime of happiness to fulfill, but we have nothing to fulfill it with. And I think that the creativity, like being creative and just like doing stuff, is going to be not only like the safety net, but the core, like the important part. And I do really think that it's so important to already like, I think the children are creative, so it's not just destroy it, but like not strip it away from them. So they are able to to live and just be. And I really like the idea, as you said, like not being anxious and not being mentally in the future, but being present and just like creating. And I do feel that every time I am like anxious, or because I said it to you many times, I feel a relief when I am very anxious and I just go draw something, then it just goes away. And I don't think the problem changed, like the problem is still there. It's just my mind just calms down. It just comes from that crazy stressed viral spiral to it's fine, just be, just breathe, just focus on one stuff, that is make the yellow flower. It's like very, very, very calming. And I think it's just because I don't think that we nowadays, and I think that COVID has show it to us how much like culture and creativity and being able to like create is important. And if you don't have it, not even being even able to see other people being creative, if you don't have it, then it's very sad, and it really brings you down. And I think that, but we still think that it's something. I think we are giving it not enough credit, and I think that in future it's just going to be the key and like the terminal thing that is going to make it or break it for you. It's like if you have a lifetime full of boredom and nothing needs to be done, what do? Either you get depressed or you just stand up and just do beautiful stuff. And the beautiful stuff doesn't have to be beautiful to nobody else than just you. You know, it's just, you just create.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in some sense, it's just like part of living. It's just living, creating. Like we separate it with words, but I think when you actually separate it and stop creating, that's when you get like anxious and depressed. And I don't think it's like a silver bullet solution to everything, like to create. But we shouldn't structure our environments so that we are caught up in just the consumption trap, like we talked about. So yeah, it definitely feels worthwhile to do more of that. And like for me, at least now, the creativity comes down to the question of who are you? Like the process, and even like the showing it and getting the feedback. It's like the whole process and the finding of meaning. At least to me, it goes back to this. Like it's like trying to figure out who I am through the reactions of others, what's meaningful to me in their reactions, in my interactions with whatever I'm creating, whether I'm using AI or big brushes or small brushes. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the way you've put it. It's about finding who you are. Definitely. It's another tool to access yourself.
Like a way to interact with the world. Because words are so limited in so many ways. So yeah, like the shared experience, I want to say something, express something. That's like the question. It's not from my head. Like I'm coming back when I'm writing something or creating something. For me, it's mostly writing. It's like, what am I trying to say? Like that's what because it's so easy sometimes to forget that. And so you get lost in the technicalities. It's like, should I use this word here or that word here? And that's important. Details are important, I agree. But sometimes you get lost in the weeds. And it's like the whole point disappears. It's like, why I was writing this again? Like, what was I trying to say? And then it feels empty. So you either don't finish it at all because it's not there anymore. Yeah.